we're just waiting on this to go live here. Just a second. I'm loading up the stream so I can see your chats. Be ready in just a minute, guys. All right. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a good night. Had a good weekend going into Monday tomorrow. I got something new. This is the West Creek Revenge. This guitar is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. You can get this brand new on Amazon right now for like $200. There's a coupon. I posted a link in the description if you're curious about it, but I did a review. It's actually rendering right now on my other computer. It'll be coming out this Saturday. But this guitar is nuts, guys. Completely nuts. It's got stainless steel frets. It has a mahogany body. It's got full-size pots. It has a set neck. It's painted on the back, too. It has nice sealed tuners. It stays in tune real well. This thing is crazy. It's amazing. The pickups are really good, too. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you now. Hope you like it. Let me switch this to my other screen, though. There we go. I like that better. All right. Listen to this. It's nuts how good this guitar sounds. For that price, it's crazy. All right, let's play something. not feeling that one. I'm switching to a different one that I like better. What's up? Hey, JB, what is up? Man, just hanging out tonight. Got this crazy thing. Man, I recorded the review. Thank you. I recorded the review. It's rendering right now. So it's coming out Saturday of this guitar. The spoiler alert. This guitar is amazing. It blows everything in this price range out of the water. It's not even close. Absolutely not even close. There is no close second. You can get this guitar for like $200 right now, brand new. I put a link in the description. It's crazy. So it has stainless steel frets. It has a mahogany body. It has full-size pots. The pickups are absolutely amazing. It has Epiphone tailpiece and bridge somehow. Like when I pulled it off, it said EPI, and then the rest of it was scratched off really crazily. So I believe this was made in the same factory that makes Epiphone stuff overseas. And then they just like cannibalized parts. The body looks like an Ibanez Destroyer. It's got the little cut right here. So the Explorer doesn't have that, but the Destroyer does. And then on the back, it is a set neck. It's not a bolt-on neck, and it's all painted. I don't think this is a veneer either, this top. It's completely nuts. So, yeah, I mean, that's the spoiler for the video that's coming out Saturday. But this thing, man, there's no close second. It holds tune amazingly well. Like, I just did all that, right? And let's see if it's still in tune after doing all that for 10 minutes. Shouldn't it be out of tune? And it's not out of tune. Absolutely, completely, and totally nuts. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's not really the king of the budgets to me, though. It's still the Beretta Special because the Beretta Special is a Kramer. This thing still says West Creek on the headstock. I'm not a fan of how it looks aesthetically, and I don't like the name. I don't care that it's a West Creek, but I don't like the name very much or how it looks, so, you know. If that might not matter to some people. Did I set it up, or is it out of the box? So, I got it out of the box, and I put new strings on it because I'm terribly allergic to nickel. And the only thing I had to do was one of the pots, this one, was a little bit loose. I gave it like half a turn and tightened it. Everything else was perfect. Even the neck relief was perfect. There's no dead frets on it. No dead frets, no buzzing. Out of the box. The tuners were not loose. They were tight in both places. It was tight here, and it was tight here. Now, that's very easy for you to fix yourself, and usually that's something you have to do with a budget guitar, but nope, didn't have to do it. Didn't have to adjust the neck at all. It came perfect. Didn't even have to adjust the bridge height or the intonation screws. I literally put strings on it, and it's perfect. I was gonna like replace the pickups and the bridge, and I had all these plans for it. Like I was gonna make a video on modding it, but I don't think I'm gonna do anything to it. Oh, also it has a bone nut. The fingerboard is really good. The frets are like they don't cut you at all. They're rolled off on the edges. I can't really show you on this camera, but in the video on Saturday next week that's coming out, you'll see that rolled fret edges, and it's crazy. 700T. Yeah, you might be right. It reminds me of those, and I really like those pickups. It wouldn't surprise me. But they're hotter than those. I have some in my those drawers back there. I have some that I took out of my Les Paul 100. It sounds better than those. They're wound hotter. I don't know what they are. I didn't pull them and see. But they're amazing. I mean, they clean up amazingly well. And I go over that in the review, but so check it out. This is on the bridge. Okay, and now I'm gonna roll the volume back. No, I didn't. I did not. Because I like to run all of my reviews through the same equipment. So I started, when I did my first review, I used this pod. So I just use it for everything now. That's what I'm using right now for this live stream. We are in a spoiled age. In both ways, though. Because there's some stuff that is ridiculously expensive. Like JCM 800s. Have you looked at prices of those lately? What the hell, man, is going on with that? So there's that. But then on the other side, anything under like $500 is crazy. You can steal it all now. If your budget's like where mine would be, which is under that $500 range, go to town. You can't buy enough stuff. You really can't. We are definitely in an age right now where you can get stuff like, I see PV Bandits for like $70 around here all the time. Like if I bought every PV Bandit that I saw, and I want to, I'd have like 12 of them. I've got 2. 400 for... Is it? Oh. That's right in the spot. 400 is right in the spot where it really depends. Yes. If that's what it is, then yeah. If you've got the funds and it's not gonna kill you, yes. $400. I think if that were listed on, for example, I'm not gonna use Reverb because Reverb prices are inflated. GuitarCenter.com is a good barometer. So if that were sold on GuitarCenter.com used, that guitar you're talking about, I would guess $600 to $700, maybe $500 on the low end. $400, yeah. I'm guessing it's Korean. If it was made in '98, I mean, obviously you should, if you can, you should play it first and make sure it's not a total dud. But even if it is, if it's not the wood that's the problem, everything is fixable. Everything is fixable. As long as you got good wood and good meat, you're in good shape. I would say yeah. And I said it in my review, if you don't already have an Explorer-style guitar or don't have an opportunity to get a real one, like an Epiphone Explorer or an Ibanez Destroyer, for example, which would be the competitors to this, if you don't have a way to get those, this is the one. I mean, I'm a tremolo guy. I need to have my tremolo, and I forget about it with this guitar. I mean, look at that. Like I said, this doesn't appear to be a veneer to me. Because I took the... it just doesn't. It just doesn't. I have guitars that have veneers, and this doesn't appear to be a veneer. I think this really is mahogany, too. Because when I took the control plate off the back, there was some... Oh, the only other QC problem was the screw that goes in the back of the control plate. One of them slightly missed, so you can see the screw hole. It's kind of like half of a hole. Like half of it goes down the edge of the inside of the wood. But because of that, with the screw removed, you can actually see the wood. It looked like mahogany to me. And it looked like it might be a 2-piece body. Yeah, Will, you should... I don't want to be a bad influence on people, but that's a crazy deal. I would say go for it. Don't let it go either. Go for it and keep it. This also has binding. I mean, if you apples to apples this, right? And you put this up against a guitar with the exact same specs. The body notwithstanding, okay? Let's forget the fact that it looks like an Explorer or a Destroyer for a minute. You've got a flamed top. It's mahogany, made of mahogany. It's got stainless steel frets. It's got the set neck. It's got this color scheme. It has body binding, and it has fretboard binding. I believe it's a rosewood fingerboard. It doesn't feel like Laurel or look like Laurel. It looks like rosewood and feels like rosewood. It also has these block inlays, which are not, these aren't stickers. This is actually in the fingerboard. Even the headstock logo, which I don't like, I already said. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like what it says, but it's whatever. That's an inlay. That's not a sticker. That is not a sticker. It's like the Epiphone logo on an Epiphone guitar. It's actually underneath the paint. The tuners are sealed tuners. That's not really a deal killer. But anyway, if you take all of those things and you tried to buy a guitar today, brand new, that had all of those things, you're spending at least $600 or $700. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're paying $600 or $700 if you wanted something with all of those specs. Then when you add to the fact that it has this body shape, if this is something you like, you're not going to find it. I mean, the Epiphone, like the Epiphone Firebird and the Epiphone Explorer, those are never in stock anywhere. And when they are, they don't have all the features that this guitar has. You'd be looking at about $1,000, I would have to say. New. $1,000 new, if you wanted all those specs. And the stainless steel frets. So, that being said, the fact you can get this for about $200 is nuts. Absolutely nuts. I don't know how they're able to do it. I really don't. And that's all nice, right? It's on a piece of paper that you read. And I looked at this guitar online for like 3-4 months. I would look at it once a week. And then it got to the point where I was looking at it every day. And then it got to the point where there was only like 2 left. And one thing led to another, and I ended up with one. So even if all of those things weren't good enough, I mean, this was Amazon Prime. It comes to you in 2 days, and if you don't like it, you can return it, right? And I thought, if it plays badly, a setup might be able to fix it. If it doesn't hold tune, I could replace the tuners, the pickups, and the bridge for, what do you think, $250? And then you're still cheaper than the MSRP on the Epiphone Explorer by a couple of $100s. So, I mean, then I got it, and it doesn't need anything. And this is one of those guitars where harmonics are really easy to do. That's a way that, for me to test, like, did I set the guitar up correctly? Or is it a good guitar? Can I hit a harmonic pretty much anywhere I want to, whenever I want to? If I can't, it probably has a setup problem, or it just can't be set up well enough. That's one of those two things. This is, with no setup, I was able to do anything I wanted to. Just effortlessly. It's easier to do that on this guitar than any other guitar I own, besides my Epiphone Les Paul Studio. That's the only other one I own that's that easy. Now, obviously, you shouldn't play like that all the time. It's just a nice way to test a guitar. If you want to see if you did a good job on your setup. Again, you don't want to play like that. Billy Gibbons plays like that, but, you know, the rest of us shouldn't. So the pickups are awesome in this guitar. And then here's the neck. It's nuts. I thought I was going to have to buy a super distortion or something. Nope. Here's a straight valve sound. I mean, I don't need to say anything. I'm sure some of you are like, it's not that good, dude. Chill out. And fair. That's fair. These are instruments, and they're tools, but they're also for artistic expression, you know? So, like, if you're like, oh, that's ugly, I don't like that body style, or I don't like the way that sounds, like, that's fine. You know? You do you. I'll do me. And I, speaking for myself, think this is an amazing guitar. Here, clean. One thing that I did notice about it, the pickups are so hot that if you don't have a lot of headroom in whatever you're plugging into, like this is a Pod HD 500X, so it doesn't have a lot of headroom. there's a lot of output out of these pickups. So when you plug it into an amp, you want to plug it into the low input on your amp, not the high. Because if you put it in the high, you're probably going to peak it out. So like, check it out. So with it on clean, listen to how much it peaks out. You hear how it's like sizzling at the top of that? So the good thing is you can turn the volume way down and then you'll be fine. Okay? Same goes for the neck. It's not quite as noticeable because the peaking is in the bass, and you're not going to notice that as much. But if you roll it back, like on the bridge, so there you go. So enough goofing around. Let's play over something. Do you guys have any questions about this? I didn't expect to do a live stream review, but I'm so excited. I usually don't do this. I usually wait until the review comes out before I'll bring it out on a live stream, but I couldn't help myself. I can't put this guitar down. I can't. I've got all those guitars back behind me and like a bunch more in cases. And this is the one I keep picking up. And it's a West Creek Revenge. Truss rod cover looks cool though, I'll say that. And I did take the truss rod cover off, and I did stick an Allen wrench in there and see if I had any resistance one way or the other, and I did. So sometimes you get these cheaper guitars and the truss rod is just kind of laying in there, like it wasn't tightened at all, and it might be broken. But I stuck an Allen wrench in there and just barely one way or the other, and there it was tight. So, yeah. Will found me from watching the Starcaster videos, got one with a maple neck for $40 to build out. Man, that's awesome. So you know what's weird? I don't know if yours is like this, but when I was researching that video, I saw that the maple neck Starcasters have a maple fingerboard on top of a maple neck. It's two pieces. Instead of normally where the fingerboard is like part of the same piece of maple, there's like a maple fingerboard laying on top of a maple neck. I don't know if yours is like that, but I found that to be interesting when I was researching that video. That may be wrong. And there are a lot of guitars that do that, but you don't usually see that on Fenders. Yeah, that's weird. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just super weird. Seems like maybe it would have been cheaper to just make it all one piece. Routed out for an HH. Nice. I've only done that one time. You can kind of see it right there. See that maple neck right there? That's a Martin SSX Stinger. It originally was an SSS, and I routed it out for a swimming pool. It was the first time I ever used a wood router in my life. In fact, a lot of the first time I ever do anything you've seen, because I video myself doing it. I didn't video that, and I wish I did, but yeah. I was like, well, I took a pencil and I just kind of like sketched out a rectangle, and I was like, who cares about tone wood? This guitar's made of plywood, which it is. The SSX Stinger is a plywood body. And I was like, who cares? So I routed out a swimming pool. So, you know, I thought maybe one day I'd do like HHH or something. Right now, it's just sitting there. Thanks, Will. I really appreciate it. I try to be concise. When I first started, a lot of feedback I got from people, because I started this, I still don't know what the hell I'm doing, to be honest with you. But I was in these subreddits and in these Discord groups and stuff for like people new to YouTube. And so like I posted a few of my videos. I was like, what do you guys think I should be doing? You know, is this good? By the way, I quickly learned not to give a damn what those people say. You do you. That's what I do. I don't care what they say is best. Anyway, they were like, your videos are too long and you don't need to be showing every step. And I disagreed, because I feel like every user, every person watching a video has the capability of skipping ahead from stuff, but they don't have the capability of pulling in things that weren't filmed. So like if you don't want to watch me tighten something, skip that part. But if you needed to see me tighten it, let's say because sometimes I'll look up stuff not to see how to do what they're doing, but to see stuff in the background. For example, let's say I screwed up a pick guard really bad, and I just want to put it back the way it was. So I might go watch a video of a guy taking a pick guard off of his guitar for some other reason, but really what I want is I just want to see the inside gut shot of that guitar. So if people edit all that stuff out, then you can't ever really find what you're looking for. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. I try to be accurate and honest as well. I don't like to embellish or make up stuff. If I don't know, I say I don't know, and if I do know, I try to cite the source. Like that Black Label Strat video. A lot of people had a lot of things to say to me about how I was wrong and how I was pushing a narrative and all this stuff and that, you know, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I cited everything I said. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Anyway, we've talked enough. I think we should try to play something now. With this guitar that is still in tune, by the way. I agree with you. Sorry to keep not playing, but yes, you're right. And I chapter my videos now. I have been for a while because it's important. You may need to see that. What if the first guitar you ever modded is the guitar that I'm doing? I know, I had to read that twice. But yeah, what if the guitar that I'm modding is the first guitar that you have ever modded in your life? And then I skipped the obvious step of something. Well, now you're like, but I wanted to follow along. Well, again, if you don't want to see it, just skip it, you know? I like making the longer videos. Yeah. I find your videos to be shallow and pedantic. I believe she's quoting Family Guy. He like watches this show, this debate, and they call something shallow and pedantic, and then he sits down to dinner and he says, "Lois, I find this dinner to be shallow and pedantic." Alright, I've never played to this backing track. I don't know what it is. Let's go. It's over. That was fun. I see Family Guy is happening. I watch Family Guy all day while I work now. Oh, by the way, with the volume on 1, what happened to all the overdrive? I didn't turn it off. Oh, full-size pots, by the way, not mini pots. This guitar is nutso. No compression and no noise gate. It is absolutely magic. I mean, any guitar worth its salt should be able to do this, but it's another good test. So, fun fact, when I recorded the sound demo of this guitar for my review, I recorded it with my streaming gear, right? So I've got like this microphone here, my guitar here, and I noticed that while I was playing, this microphone is really, really hot. Like, listen, you hear? I'm barely talking, you can hear everything. Right? So I was doing like the review and you could hear me going like every sound that my mouth was making while I was playing. So I had to like say like, okay, now we're going to do this, and then turn the microphone off and then do the thing. Because I was listening back to it and you could hear me like breathing, and it was bad. It's not good. And I recorded the whole thing with the microphone stand in front of the guitar. So after I finished, you couldn't even really see anything. It was stupid. I'm kind of doing that to you right now, aren't I? There. That's my pop screen filter. Cooking hot dogs in a mini pot. That's awesome. I wrap them in a paper towel and I put them in the microwave. And you know what's sad? I had to call my mom and ask her how to do even that, because I didn't know. I've heard about the air fryer phenomenon. They're really cheap now, I think. I'm probably one of the only people who doesn't have one yet. I'm having a really good time with this guitar, guys. I'm not trying to push anything on anybody, but I mean, I know the logo looks stupid, and usually when you see these listings on Amazon, it's like, oh boy, another cheap, crappy Chinese guitar. But this one is different. It really is. I do wish that the logo was a sticker, though, so I could peel it off. I'm not ashamed that it is a West Creek. I just don't like the way it looks, aesthetically. Alright, let's play something else. All right. That was fun. Yup. Lodge is a good brand. I think we've got a couple of those. At least one. But I don't know anything about that stuff. Those things. I know how to use a microwave, though. Yeah, so we were at that flea market today. And that's where I got that Marshall. For those of you who are not in the Discord, I can show you. Maybe. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I can't get to it. But I found a Marshall Master Lead Combo 5010 from 1988 for $80. And I already have one. You've seen it before. Now I have two. So it is for sale. You know, I don't know, man. It's crazy. That thing is cool. It's got the same circuit, like it's the same amp as the JCM 800, except for the major difference, which is it's solid state instead of valve. But it sounds amazing. It's my gigging amp. I take it with me every week. I plug everything into the front of it. It doesn't have an effects loop, but I just turn everything down low enough that it's got a ton of headroom. If you turn the preamp down to like 6, you got a ton of headroom. It's a great amp. But anyway, on that adventure while we were looking, I found that amp. She found a few of these things that she's talking about. These cast irons, and then there's these other bowls that she wants. I don't remember what they are. But they've gotten really expensive in the last few years. Like in the last 3 or 4 years, the price of that kind of stuff, really everything has gone up so much. Some of it's come down, like guitars have come down a lot. You can get deals for guitars now that you couldn't get before. I mean, you could get before, and then you couldn't get for a while, and you can now get again. Speaking of which, these things, I don't know how long they're going to last. I don't know if it's like they got a bunch of off bodies. Like if these are Epiphone bodies maybe, and then they just cut a chunk out of it to avoid a lawsuit. And then when they're gone, they're gone. Like, is this new old stock? I don't know. I mean, I don't recognize what this is from. It's not Kramer. I mean, this part, it looks similar to some of the Kramers, but it's not Kramer. I don't know what the headstock shape is from. I have no idea. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Is it still in tune after all that? The B's out a little. I agree. It does look sort of like carbon. I don't like a lot of the Chinese headstock shapes. That's another reason that keeps me away from buying those. Is the headstock shapes are like, oh, like there's that awful one. There's a lot of like Fender and Telecaster guitars out there. There's just like this awful nose shape. I can't really explain it. It's like a wide fin or something. I really strongly dislike the way that looks. I know they have to do it to avoid a lawsuit, but I wish they'd point it like this. I like this. It reminds me of like an 85 Kramer. Not a big fan of that shape myself. Alright. My favorite headstock shape on a Strat style 6-inline guitar is probably the Kramer, like the hockey stick, or the banana. My other favorite is the Epiphone bat wing that came on those Epiphone Strats. That's a pretty cool one too. Alright, let's play something else. Cheesy 80s backing track. This is a cheesy 80s style guitar. It's perfect. This is cheesy. That's a fun song. That's a fun backing track. What else have I got going on here today? Everybody talking about food. Cheese and hot dogs and skillets and cast iron and what is all this stuff? Oh. Sorry, I got all these backing tracks ready before I started, and I didn't remember some of them. I'm gonna tune real quick. These are strings I just put on it today. Actually, not that long ago. They're like hours old, these strings. It was pretty much in tune. What is this? Sustains forever. Whoops. My B string went out pretty bad. It's back now. We'll do one more song and then we'll call it a night.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keep a-moving on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. Hey! Bet there's rich folks eating in a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee, smoking big cigars. Oh, I knew I had it coming, I know I can't be free. But that train keeps a-moving, and that's what tortures me. If they free me from this prison and the railroad train was mine, I bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. Then I'd let that lonesome whistle all my blues away.
All right. Hey, that's going to do it for tonight. Thanks, everybody, for hanging around. Really appreciate all of you. I will see you next time. Have a good night and keep on rocking.